Coronavirus is still with us. I bet you're just like me, wanting to see the end of this pandemic. That, however, is dependent on us. The more we stay home and practice social distancing, the sooner the crisis will end. Tanner your yard, only leaving for essentials or if you have work. While on the road, keep your distance. Give people space. Remember, this virus spreads quickly through respiratory droplets. That is, someone carrying the virus doesn't have to cough or sneeze. Even when they speak, fluids can be passed on to you and get you infected. We'll delve into those issues and others on today's edition of the magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Up next, critical information on the fight to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus in Jamaica.
Educational institutions are to remain closed up to the 31st of May 2020. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that there will be no school. The physical place of learning, the school, will remain closed, but education will continue online or remotely. Our borders will remain closed to the 31st of May 2020. However, this will be subject to controlled re-entry of Jamaicans in accordance with established protocols. Previously, when we closed the border, we allowed limited re-entry via a discretionary application through to the Minister of National Security and then the approval of Cabinet. All BPOs are to be closed for a period of 14 days starting Wednesday. I want the country to understand that this was not an easy decision. The same people who will tell you that you must close the BPO are the same people who will quarrel with you and say, people who used to work in the BPO are starving and you're not providing for them. Again, there is no easy solution. Closing the BPOs either is not a simple or absolute action, unless you intended to close them for good and forever, because these operations are not meant to be closed. They are meant to give you 24-hour stand-up services through hurricane, natural disaster, catastrophe. That is how they are designed. So, for example, they have critical systems that can't go down because these servers serve critical industry and infrastructure that Jamaicans depend on. Many of them provide support to logistics and shipping that brings the food into our country. Many of them support the telecommunications and banking industry, that were those to go down, then you would not only see the lines of people who can't get their funds at the remittance office. You would also see those who stayed at home trying to get their money online, quarreling with you. So the issue of closure then is that we have said to the BPOs that the critical services, those that support the telecommunications, the banking, and the logistics and shipping, particularly those related to our operations as a country, that we will make exemptions and provisions for their operations, but those will be closely regulated. The work from home orders are extended for a further 14 days. The stay-at-home orders are extended for a further 14 days. And of course, we know what the stay-at-home orders are. If you have no necessary business on the road, stay at home. If you are 70 years and over, stay at home. If you are ill with respiratory or flu-like symptoms, stay at home. If you have nothing to do, tana your yard, stay at home. So for the next 14 days, the curfews will start at 6 p.m. and end at 6 a.m. And this will start as of tomorrow for the next 14 days. Now, we have made some adjustments to the curfews as well. Work hours are now adjusted. So work hours are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So curfews are from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It means that you have what is called travel time. So travel time is from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The JUTC and registered PPP taxes, PPV taxes, public passenger vehicles, they are allowed to be on the road from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. But they must not have any passenger in their cars between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. That is their transportation time back to their home. This measure applies to supermarkets. The supermarkets, however, should close at 5 p.m. The pharmacies should close at 5 p.m. The corner shops should close at 5 p.m. And we're doing that to allow that extra time if you need to drop in and pick something up. We have adjusted the times for markets, and the markets will now, instead of being closed at 2 p.m. and it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we will now allow the markets to open all week, except on Sunday, up to 4 p.m. So the markets will go from 6 to 4. They will be closed on Sundays. The wearing of masks is now mandatory in all public places, and that would include passenger vehicles. I am encouraging all Jamaicans to comply. Social distances, the orders for social distances are modified. We had given 3 feet minimum that people should stay. The minimum is now 6 feet. And these are orders which we intend to enforce. For St. Catherine, the measures announced in relation to the borders of St. Catherine remain. So St. Catherine is under a 24-hour curfew, technically. There are exemptions for the exempted list of essential services and essential businesses that can continue to move about to pursue their duties or to pursue the services that they give to the public. But the days for movement and the time for movement has been adjusted. Wednesday will be what we call a shopping day. And residents in St. Catherine will be able to move about on the hours of the national curfew. So they will be able to move about from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. However, the establishments that are permitted to open, which continues from the existing orders, they will open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have removed the alphabetic classification for movement, so everyone can move around on that day. Thursday is a stocking day. So Thursday is a no movement day except for essential services who are permitted to move. But stores can open for restocking, but they cannot serve the public. Friday and Saturday are shopping days. Sunday is a no movement day, and we will allow restocking. Monday is a shopping day, and then stores can restock if they so choose on Tuesday, but remember, Tuesday would be a no movement day for citizens. Pharmacies are allowed to remain open throughout the period of the measures. So pharmacies can open from Wednesday to Tuesday. However, on the no movement days, they are only permitted to dispense pharmaceuticals. Bars, amusement places, and the likes remain closed.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
With stay-at-home, quarantine, and isolation orders in effect, technological devices have become a necessity. Phones, tablets, laptops, and also desktops are the connectors to the world. As such, they are being used constantly. Unfortunately, they are also carriers of germs and viruses. Up next, cleaning tips for your mobile devices.
Android, iOS, non-internet based. It doesn't matter the brand, type, model, or cost. Phones need to be periodically cleaned. There are no apps, not yet, that will de-germ the outer surface of these mobile gadgets. And unless you have an ultraviolet UV sanitizer toolkit, you'll have to manually decontaminate the device. Germs are everywhere, and so too are our phones, inside a bag or pocket, on a table or counter, the car, bed, even in our hands. Placing our phones on these surfaces puts them in constant contact with germs, even the novel coronavirus. And according to the World Health Organization, the virus has a lifespan of up to 96 hours on surfaces. That's 4 full days on plastic or metals, the type of exterior shell of many phones. Constant touching of the phone with naked fingers that we then use to touch our faces, or directly placing the phone to our faces, is a recipe for transmitting germs, bacteria, or viruses to the body.
First thing I do when I get home is I clean my phone. Because you're touching your phone and you're touching this surface that somebody else just touched, and then you put the phone to your mouth and you ha. And all of these particles that have ended up on the phone, they end up in you.
Apart from just not using a phone, our only defense is to clean them regularly. Soap and water would be best, but no, you should not submerge your phone in liquid. Instead, first, wash your hands with soap and water, then dry them. Ensure that your phone is unplugged to prevent a possible electrical shock. Then, dab a clean cloth, preferably a microfiber or lens cloth, with a 70% isopropyl alcohol solution, and wipe the entire surface of your phone. Do not drench the cloth with too much solution, just sufficient to clean the device. In addition, be careful to avoid getting moisture into any openings. If you don't have an alcohol-based cleaning solution at hand, you can also use alcohol wipes. You should ensure the wipes have a relatively high concentration of alcohol. The best is 70% and above. This ensures that any viruses that are on your phone can be effectively killed. While you sanitize your phone, avoid using aerosol sprays, abrasives, and cleaners. And do not spray directly onto the phone screen or back. Bleach should also not be used to clean the phone, as it may damage the surface. It is also best to wipe any relevant accessories used with your phone. Chargers, headsets, and phone cases should be sanitized at the same time you clean your device. They should also be removed from the device when cleaning. Now your phone and its friends are clean. To prevent putting your phone against your face or the likelihood of transferring germs or viruses, use Bluetooth, a virtual assistant or hands-free speaker system if you can.
Practice good hygiene by washing your hands frequently using soap and water. Here's how you should do it while conserving water. Turn on the tap to wet your hands, then turn off the pipe. Lather your hands and the tap with soap. Turn on the tap and wash your hands, back, front, and in between fingers. Use some of the water to wash off the tap, then turn it off. Dry your hands with disposable hand towels. If you don't have running water, use a hand rub containing 62% or more alcohol. If hand sanitizers are not available, rubbing alcohol, Dettol, white rum, or household bleach will do the trick. And if all else fails, let hand washing and the handling of potable water be a two-person event. Each person will take turns pouring and washing hands with sitting water. Now is a good time to consider installing a tap on your containers to reduce the risk of water contamination. Faucets can be easily attached to drums, buckets, or 5-gallon water bottles. And to ensure that the outside of the containers are clean when recapping, disinfect it with hand rub containing alcohol that's 62% or more. The 5 R's of water conservation are also necessary to practice. Reduce water wastage by investing in water-saving devices. Reuse water at least twice before discarding. Replace leaking pipes, faucets, and other plumbing equipment. Recycle wastewater and use it for gardening, car washing, or cleaning of public spaces. And reclaim water through rainwater harvesting. We all must play our part to ensure there's water to combat the coronavirus and stave off prolonged drought.
Now that we are staying at home, more solid waste is being generated. As such, we must help to contain the frequent garbage collection. If we compost our waste, It will not only help the sanitation workers to decrease the time they spend on the road, but it also generates rich soil that can be used in our vegetable gardens or flower pots. What am I talking about? Take a look.
Compost is one of the richest form of soil nutrient. So here we are buying fertilizer for huge sums of money, when in fact we are throwing away something which is richer in many regards than what we are buying, spending hard cash for. We, from time to time, do what we call garbage characterization survey. This is where we actually go island-wide and take samples of the garbage and look at what make up the garbage. All the surveys that are done in recent past points to one particular set of dynamic. The compostables are always the highest. 67% in some survey, 65% in some. We eat vegetables. We do ground provisions, the peelings from those. We use cardboards, newspapers, lots of stuff that can be broken down and can be put to good use. With such a high percentage of the solid waste being compostable, we are therefore forced to look at how we're going to manage in the best way possible, in the most efficient way possible, that high percentage of the garbage.
Composting is a rich form of soil that is broken down by microorganisms to become either fertilizer or soil. Now we're going to do a demonstration to show you how we can do it. First, if we're starting, this is our kitchen waste. So if you're starting a compost bin at home, you need to get your kitchen peel, your banana, your lettuce, your cabbage, your tomatoes, and you cut them in finer particles. It will make it break down much faster. In order for the microorganisms to work effectively, you need moisture, you need air, and you need heat. You can use a hand shovel or your hands. Too much moisture will allow the stuff to rot and it won't be compost. And if it is too dry, the microorganisms won't be able to work effectively. So you need to get a right mixture. If you squeeze it with a fist, you shouldn't have any water running out of it. If it's dripping, it is okay. If it is running out of it, that means you have too much water. So now this is our compost. If you keep this moisture in your compost, it will give you a maturity rate of 3.5 months. And you'll get this final product, which is this right here. Compost, what it does, the longer it stays into the ground, is the richer it becomes. We're going to demonstrate how we use our compost for potting. We're going to pot a few plants using our compost. This plant is called spider fern. It is an indoor plant that does like a fair amount of water. It likes a light mixture. The composting can be used for indoor and outdoor plants. This plant is called a bougainvillea. It is an outdoor plant. It likes a lot of sunlight. It blooms a lot, and it likes dry areas. The compost is offer drainage. It doesn't keep the water too long. This is now 6 weeks old, and this is 3 weeks after being planted as a seedling, using our compost. And this bougainvillea is 6 weeks after being planted by our compost. and they're just blooming, blooming, blooming. This is a mature spider fern that we use for our rentals, and this is about 2.5 months old.
The other benefit is that we at the NSWMA, we would need less trucks. Now, right now, our biggest problem is trucks to remove garbage. Can you imagine if we could take out the 67%, which we could convert at source? What that would do to our national budget? Gas oil, repairs of trucks, labor to work on the trucks. Just look at it. It is huge savings that could come. Exponential is about getting a behavioral change at source that will see significant reduction in solid waste. We want to see this reduction and to see it in a very tangible way. And we believe that composting provides that excellent opportunity.
It's a new beginning. New day is dawning. It's time to arise. We are the gene of achievement and pride.
A bold new beginning. Time for action. We have the spirit to fight on.
This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land.
Let us make every effort to forge unity. And resolve to work hard for our prosperity.
Leaving our children a legacy of hope. Breaking the shackles and smashing the yoke. This is Jamaica. This is our land. This is our we have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This
Let me hear
is
the
our
children
land.
say.
This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have a future with God in our plan. We'll play our part in this great nation. This is Jamaica. Come on, everybody, let's sing.
This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part in this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land.
Jamaica, together we can.
You've reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks so much for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, click on our social media pages for more informative features. While there, please subscribe to our pages and channels so you can stay in the know. I'm Adrian Atkinson, encouraging you to stay home and flatten the curve.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.